Hello, my name is Macy Cole. I am a student at the University of West Alabama. I'm currently getting a master's degree in elementary education, and this is my signature project, Stage 2 presentation on the effects of poverty on student academic achievement. So, here's some background information. Poverty has an influence on the physical well being of students, as well as their brain development, their self esteem, and their educational performance. Young children growing up in poverty face challenges with cognitive and literary ability and often begin school both academically and socioeconomically behind their peers from higher income backgrounds. And that actually comes from Taylor in 2017. That's listed in my reference. So, this study aims to investigate the impact of socioeconomic status on student academic achievement. The problem that this study will address is poor academic student achievement in a K 12 setting. The proposal looks closely at how socioeconomic status affects student academic achievement on state testing. The investigation will use data accumulated from the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, commonly known as the ACAP, to determine school success based on their score. Data about socioeconomic status of students will be collected at the beginning of this experiment, and then the ACAP test will be given to further assess the student's academic achievement, and this usually takes place towards the end of the school year. So this project predicts, though, that socioeconomic status has a great effect on students and their success in a school setting. This graph represents and shows percentages of low-income students compared to the average scaled score at a state level and school level. These scores are shown for eighth grade math from the 2013 National Assessment of Educational Progress. And so, a summary of that data we just looked at. Before I talk about it, I want to talk and make sure that it's known that low income students are defined as those who qualify for free or reduced lunch. So, this data shows that there's a small number of low income students who scored high on a state and school level. As the average scale score decreases, the percentage of low income students increases. And the source of this data in this graph is used from the National Center for Educational Statistics. Now we're going to talk a little bit about academic achievement. So decades of research has previously documented that people who deal with situations that cause stress, such as poverty, limited access to adequate health care, exposure to crime, and other conditions related to low socioeconomic status, those people are more susceptible to mental and physical disorders, lower educational progress, and lower IQ scores. There are numerous studies that have documented that low income children, even as young as 2 years old, perform worse across cognitive measures. As children progress through school, children living in poverty environments continue to perform worse on assessments that measure school achievement. The research will be conducted through a quantitative study using random sampling. The experimental research plan, this involves assigning 100 students in second grade at Albertville Primary School a random number 1 through 100. And Albertville Primary School is currently where I teach second grade. The 100 students will be divided into two groups with 50 students in each group. So, group 1 will be a random selection of students in the second grade who qualify for free and reduced lunch. And group 2 will be a random selection of students in the second grade who do not qualify for free and reduced lunch. The plan for this research study is to compare the ACAP scores of second grade students with their free and reduced lunch status to see if there is possibly a correlation between the two statistics. And during the time in between the beginning of the school year and the ACAP tests, students will be receiving adequate education at the same pace from qualified educators. The Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, or the ACAP, it's a statewide test that's given in Alabama to measure the proficiency levels of students in grades second grade through eighth grade. The ACAP measures the overall performance of English language arts and mathematics assessments, and it's reported as a scaled score. This is always normally given towards the end of the school year in the month of April. A scale score is a representation of the total number of correct questions a student has answered and has been converted into a consistent and standardized scale. The ACAP will be given to the Albertville Primary School second grade students on the same day, except for the students who are absent, to ensure that factors are the same for every student across the board. Some key terms to keep in mind for this study. These may be needed to know in order to better understand the information being discussed. So, academic achievement. This is what a student is supposed to have learned by the end of their grade level versus what they have actually learned. Free and reduced lunch. It just means a student from a household who has an income at or below the poverty line. The Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, or the ACAP, is an online assessment designed to provide students, parents, teachers, administrators, and Alabama residents with information regarding student progress towards mastery of the Alabama Course of Study standards. Group 1, or G1, is the experimental group that will consist of the students who qualify for free and reduced lunch. And Group 2, or G2, is the experimental group that will consist of the students who do not qualify for free and reduced lunch. Some ethical considerations to keep in mind. So, outside interferences could include, but are not limited to, the student's home life and perceived internal judgments. If a student has to miss school days because of health reasons or transportation issues, this could interfere with the student's educational success. Also, the second grade teacher's lack of ability to follow the grade level pacing guide, that could also have an effect on the education that the student receives before taking the ACAP. Each student in the second grade at Albertville Primary School will participate with little to no risk. And to protect the identity of students, each of them will be randomly assigned a number 1 through 100. And the project director will be the only person with access to the identity of each student's numbers. And also, informed consent will be obtained from parents or legal guardians because the research subjects are minors. This slide just shows some pictures of forms that are used in the study. So the first one that's seen is the authorization for a minor to serve as a subject in research. The next one is just permission to conduct research. That would be sent to my principal. And then the final one is the consent form about the research proposal. The results that are hoped to be obtained. So the goal is to determine that student poverty is affecting their academic achievement. The study will help answer some questions regarding the effects of socioeconomic status on student academic achievement in a K-12 setting. It will also show the problem of poverty and how it leads to poor academic achievement in school and how it must be proven and understood. In order for there to be solutions found for this ongoing problem, It must be carefully observed and experimented on. Furthermore, the problem of poverty and how it leads to poor academic achievement in school must be proven and understood, like I've already said. The reason this is so imperative is because educators must be given this knowledge to help better help our students, and that's the overall goal. Educators are the professionals. I mean, we are the ones who have the experience and are able to observe the students on a daily basis. So, cause and effects must be identified, and also how many of our students are being negatively affected by poverty must be identified. That's why I think this. Um, that's why I think this research topic is so important. um, my reflection on all of this. So, some things, some aspects that I would consider when making my original plan is the student's academic ability. So, every student, regardless of their socioeconomic status, learns differently, and their ability to perform may have a negative impact on the results. Also, I would consider that the teachers at Albertville Primary School may use different strategies to teach the standards. They may be teaching at the same pace as everyone else. However, their approach may be more beneficial to the students than other teachers' approaches. I've also included on this same slide a diagram that I retrieved from the Child Poverty Action Group website. It is important to note that poverty makes children feel different types of ways. So it can make them feel excluded, constrained, conflicted, or embarrassed. They may be worried about parents, very unhappy, frustrated, or anxious. They get fewer opportunities. They may feel worthless, hopeless, and they may have social insecurity. Um, their aspirations, hopes, and dreams, and resilience. They may or may not feel important, bullied, and judged. Teachers don't understand. No school trips. Insecure, overcrowded homes. No place for homework or play. I just think those are things to consider in this research study, because that is the reason it is so important to find results on this. And then this last page is just a list of my references where I got a lot of my information from. So thank you for listening.